Welcome to another episode of Two Brothers, Same Mother. Of course, it's Sheik. We got AJ over here as well. And man, we watched, I would say, probably one of the more embarrassing losses that we've seen in a while. And when I say that, I mean last year there was a couple of embarrassing things. It was just that this seemed to be really lopsided, where you saw one team that's ready to win now and one team that's in a rebuild. And I think that after some of the things that we saw in week one and even week two, that realization really hit you hard for Eagles fans and not Eagles fans alike. Would you agree?
Yeah. I'm not as angry about the loss. I'm not as disappointed about the loss. I wish we would have looked a little better, but you nailed it on the head. We looked like a young team with a young coaching staff that's in the 3 games into a rebuild to a team that has been trying to make a Super Bowl push for the last 2-3 years. You take away last year because that they lost Dak and with all the other injuries, but offensively they had those players when healthy. And then they loaded up on defense and they're trying to make a run for it. We're at least a year behind the Cowboys.
A year at least. I mean,
at least that's what I said. At least a year. Yeah.
Well, I will say some things that I saw that were concerning that I've heard other people, and that I noticed too, that aren't, I don't think are ridiculous. And I'm going to point some stuff out. Like people who are trying to say this game shows that Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. You guys need to sit down and just relax. Okay. I mean,
you're idiots.
I point out Sam Darnold wasn't the guy until suddenly now they're already talking about that he might be better than Cam Newton in Carolina. Like, that's crazy. And that's just the reaction type sports world we live in. Peyton Manning wasn't the guy until like year 4 or 5, hell, even Donovan, though we saw his flashes, Donovan had some rough spots his rookie year. And, his second year, they went 11-5, but that was defensively driven with a couple flashes from 5.
Yeah, and a power offense.
The power run game. Yeah, so, but I will say, and I mean.
I told you earlier, Troy Aikman got benched for Steve Walsh.
Right.
But you know what? But you want to know what, though? And I said this to you, most of these people that are already jumping off the Ben Franklin and trying to trade off, most of those people don't even know that because most of them weren't even old enough to remember that. Most of them are just fucking spoiled by the Andy era. Sorry.
I know that it's a little bit of a tough spot. Or I should say tough spot. It's a sore spot because you have people who are in their 20s, in their teens, maybe 30 years old that don't remember, forget Marion Campbell. They don't remember Buddy. They don't remember Richie the K coaching the team. They don't remember Ray Rhodes and how much of a disaster he was at the end of his tenure. And the fact that, believe it or not, Ray Rhodes' drafts, as much as they were criticized, weren't that bad coming at the end of stuff. But it took time, though, and that was the thing. It took time for Trotter and Dalk and all those people to really, develop. But I will say, it's Sirianni, and I understand it's only 3 weeks in, and the man is really learning on the job. Bro, Miles Sanders only gets 2 runs. Like, is that?
I get it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I was going to, kind of lead you in, because to me, to see that we had week 2 where it seemed like we ran the ball a little too much and we kept on trying to go for these deep shots. And then week 3, we hardly run the ball at all. And it doesn't seem like we're really playing to Jalen's strengths, at least what his strengths are right now, when that was the one thing that got us excited about Sirianni. Yeah, it's only 3 weeks in. Yeah, the man is learning, but is it still something we should be concerned about as a fan base, as an intelligent fan base, not, a reaction right away?
Not a right away reaction. I myself have been a play caller. Sometimes the shit just gets away from you. It just gets away. It's not like you have in your mind, all right, I want to run. I want to throw 2 passes, run, 2 passes, run. It's seeing what the defense gives you. So they got the ball first, went right down the field like hot knife through butter, 7-0. We come out, we hit Goddard, underthrow, which was on Jalen. They get the ball, then there was a turnover with us. I think the very next play, turnover with us. Then they get the ball, hot knife through butter, shoom, right down the field. Now you're down 14-7 in a hostile environment, and you've already turned the ball over once. Come back out. I think it was a 3-and-out. They get the ball, hot knife through butter, go right down field. At that point in time, you're not thinking about, let me try to establish a run. I'm thinking about, I'm not a veteran coach, and I'm not going to think this after my 3rd year of calling plays, but my 3rd game of ever calling plays. Yeah, you're going to panic a little bit, and he panicked. He openly admitted he panicked and got away from what he was supposed to do. Now, if this is something that happens, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to think off the top of my head, but week 12, right? If we're in a situation where a team jumps on us early, they take the opening kickoff, we don't score, and then they go down long drive and we're down 14-0 or 14-3. If you start saying it, then it's concerning, like, whoa, okay, he didn't know to stay he hasn't learned from that Dallas debacle to stay the course. You get what I'm saying?
Well, and here's the thing about having a young staff too, and maybe it's not an age thing. I'm just putting it on young staff. Because Andy had this issue. When I say that, and you'll see where I'm going, we always say there should be someone on your staff to remind you of stuff. Andy had the issue as far as for time management. There's nobody on his staff to be like, yo, we need to hurry it up. No, hey, you need to call timeout. In Nick's case, it was, same thing kind of with balance. We said it about Doug. Hey, we need to mix the running a little bit. Or, hey, your quarterback's struggling here. Like, maybe we should run a draw play, run some screens. And it seemed like, to Sirianni's credit, they tried to start running some short routes. But it wasn't just because of Hurts, but because the offensive line just couldn't hold up. The offensive line couldn't hold up for a 5-step drop. Like, it was just that simple. Do you think that there needs to be someone on that staff that might be able to have the coach's ear and say, hey, just to let you know, man, you called 6 pass plays in a row. Maybe we need
because you had a coaching staff that panicked. The entire coaching staff panicked.
I'm not talking about this past game. I'm saying in the future, like as a coach, should there be someone on the staff that can?
I'm not going to say that yet because, like I said, he's learning. So this is the 3rd game. If he has this issue in week 12, next year, you need to have that. Even though he sucked as a head coach, he was really good. But and he sucked as a coordinator too. But he was really good at advising Andy when to run the ball was Marty Morningwood. You get what I'm saying? So next year, yeah. But if, like I said, if you see the growth and you see him, like I said, they get down by a team in week 10, 11, 12 or whatever by like 2 scores early, right? But you see he's staying the course. He got all that shit went out the window. It was like a Madden game. When you play Madden, all of a sudden everything's deep because you're just trying to get caught up on one play. That's what happened in that game, and they got caught up in it. If you see the progression of him staying the course, then no, you don't need that. But if you see that happening again, then you're probably going to have to bring in a veteran next year and be like, kind of.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I know a lot of people are talking about Sirianni's play calling, as you should, and talking about Jalen Hurts. Kid had a bad game. I think many people, including nationally, are being a little harsh on the kid. The biggest concern to me is, how do you fix this defense?
You know what's funny is we heard about all this twisted stunts and exotic looks and blah, 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 all off season, right? How they were even throwing off in the open practices, not the open practice. I'm sorry, in the joint practices, right? How they, oh man, they were throwing off New England, and New England they were throwing all these looks and even confusing blah 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 blah. But in the preseason game, 10 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, we were all like, don't worry. He's just trying to base defense. Here we are, fucking week 3, and it's the 6th game, and we're still running a base fucking defense. Because it looks exactly the same as it did the fucking first preseason game, especially against the run.
Do you think there's any issue maybe with personnel not being able to run it, or is it just on the coach at this point? He's just not calling it. I mean, I know we don't know for fact, but just your opinion.
I mean, some people are blaming the injury to Brandon Graham. But once again, they had.
We didn't see it before that, though, when he was on the field. That's the thing. When he was on the field, we didn't see anything exotic.
We didn't? Oh, no. I'm talking about, again, no, what I'm saying is they're blaming the run game. Like, we're getting gassed so much. That was just like, Atlanta, let's be real, people. Yes, that was a fun game to watch. Atlanta panicked. And they kind of like Sirianni did yesterday, and it snowballed on them. Arthur Smith panicked and didn't stay the course, and it snowballed on him against us. What Sirianni did what Arthur Smith did against us Monday night. It's just as simple. We were only up by 9 points at halftime, and they completely abandoned the run in Atlanta.
Well, here's the thing, too, and Arthur Smith is a first-time head coach, okay? Now, he's more experienced, seems, as a coordinator, but, I feel like it was pretty even in as far as with the brains. Now you have a guy and the coach for the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, offensive guru, maybe wasn't working with as much as he could on defense, but did some stuff here. And he was just simply like, look, take what you give me. If all I have to do is run 5 plays to beat you, I'll run those same 5 plays. Whether I win 7-6 or 42-40, we're going to run our game.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the Cowboys, you think what you want about Mike McCarthy. The man's been coaching for a while. And did win a Super Bowl. Granted, you could argue how many people it was more Doug Peterson, less Andy Reid.
That was personnel.
Right. But you also had on that defensive side, you don't have any screwball defensive coordinator. You got Dan Quinn, guy who helped build the Legion of Boom, the guy who has been a head coach. You have a young offensive coordinator, but he's been calling plays now for, I think this is his 4th year?
3rd or 4th, yeah. Yeah, 3rd or 4th.
And so what ended up happening is this team got out-coached, and you could tell that Dan Quinn could almost see, because they had to simplify everything. When your offensive line can't hold up, you have to throw a lot of stuff out the window with the playbook wise, right? And you're down. I mean, and they panicked. On the offensive side of things, with our defense with Gannon, it was clear that McCarthy was like, all right, well, I could see what they're trying to do here. I mean, and that's the biggest concern is, Jonathan Gannon, what's up with trying to disguise stuff? What's up with all the stuff that we were talking about? I need to see something. And I don't want to see it against the Giants who are struggling or the Jets. I need to see some of this stuff against the Chiefs, man. And you might get burned. I would rather not get burnt, period. But if I saw that, hey, you tried to blitz and it just didn't get there, and we got burned on a one-on-one play, I'd rather see that than this whole 7 yards every play.
I mean, Dallas hit us deep a couple times.
When eventually we started trying to do run blitzes. Yeah.
No, they hit us. I think their second drive was CeeDee Lamb. Or second or third drive was that bomb to CeeDee Lamb at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's CeeDee Lamb against. Can you name the corner that was on there?
Yeah, Steven Nelson.
Steven Nelson wasn't even supposed to be in coverage on that, and that's the thing. Like, so there's going to be a bomb.
He wasn't.
It's not going to be a situation where you're going
Steven Nelson wasn't supposed to be in coverage. Then why was he 40 yards downfield?
From what they were explaining was that Steven Nelson wasn't supposed to have that dude man to man. It was supposed to be kind of some sort of zone. And he was supposed to have
Yeah,
help.
it's supposed to be a zone, and he didn't have help. But what I'm saying is he was the corner, and he was supposed to have help, and Kayvon Wallace bit to the inside route.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you're going to have one or two plays, but I don't want to see you get beat on a 4-man rush.
It's ridiculous,
At least
man.
try something. And that's my point. If you get you blitz and they hit you with a blitz beater or whatever, fine. But you're trying something.
To go back to your original question, right? Was it coaching or was it personnel, right?
Was it both?
What, just like with Sirianni, what was the defense supposed to be tailored to? Our players' strengths. So our players' strengths are to just rush forward and sit everybody back. I don't think we have the defensive line for that. Now, I will say this. If there is one bright spot, actually two bright spots on this defense, has been Javon Hargrave and Darius Slay's looking like Darius Slay from Detroit.
I would say I would add a third spot there, and your man at linebacker has looked pretty decent too.
Singleton?
Yes.
He has a little bit. He has a little bit. And I hate to say this because I really wanted Kayvon to do good, and maybe he will come into fruition, but it actually seemed like Epps was a little better.
Yeah, and Epps is a veteran. You know what I mean? Like here's the biggest problem, man.
Well, yeah, and we're so young. We call somebody that's like third year and 2 years on the practice squad.
well, Epps was, I mean, but Epps has been around for a bit, and here's the problem. Anyone who was a rookie last year was a lost year, man. And it, partly because of Doug Peterson and Schwartz, partly because of COVID. You know, you did get some progression, but you're not. The guys, when it came to what we had, I feel like our rookies are our first year players are just way behind the rest of the league first year players.
A majority of them, I agree with you. A majority of them. The only ones I would say that probably benefited from last year were Herbig and Driscoll.
Right. Yeah.
But like you said, but the majority of them.
And you're talking about two guys that aren't starting. You know what I mean? And not only not starting or not in a rotation or not a nickel corner or not. They're literally, if they're playing, it's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, and I actually think if they were saying if Driscoll was actually healthy for this game, he probably would have started over Landon Dickerson. So
yeah, and I mean, here's the whole thing, man. You know, the old, rest in peace Dennis Green thing. The Eagles are who we thought they were. And when I say that, I mean very, very simple. You're going to have a rookie coach who struggles, a rookie defensive coordinator who struggles. You had a guard who came in and looked like a rookie coming off of injury. Dillard looked like exactly what we expected out of Dillard. Sayamalu has looked like what we saw out of Sayamalu. Hurts is going to have ups and downs. There's times he's going to look great. There's times that he's not. Devontae Smith is a rookie, but we weren't expecting him to set the world on fire. Yes, even the best players sometimes slip on a route. Just about everybody that we're seeing on offense, and for the most part of defense, there is some disappointment so far in a couple things, has been what you could have expected if you weren't looking at anything too optimistically or too pessimistically.
And then that's how, and I don't get, like I said, I'm gonna say it, like Philadelphia is probably the most impatient fan base. And like I said, they have this sense of entitlement. We have this sense of entitlement as a fan base. And where the fuck did this entitlement come from? Because we won a Super Bowl. I
don't get it.
It was great and it was fun, but we're not built. Like, let's be real. I know they just signed Josh Sweat. Fine, that's great. But he's a young guy. But he's as of right now, he's a one-dimensional type player. He's a pass rush. He's not. I mean, they say he's great against run. I don't see it. Derek Barnett, you have no choice at the end of this year.
Well, when you've seen, I mean, on camera on Monday Night Football, they shoot the series.
It's always him.
It's always him. You
It's
know
always him.
yeah, that's a guy who is priding himself on defending his players doing that. Yeah, no. I mean, and here's the whole thing. We're still in the midst of the purge, right? We still got to get rid of some people. This year coming up, we're going to have a bunch of draft picks and a lot of cap space. So,
Right. This year is to see what your last couple draft picks, what they're made of. Like
I,
you need to see if Rager's worth it. You need to see if Jalen Hurts is the guy. You need to see, these are all the things that you're trying to see this year. All because we won at Atlanta and Hurts says some cute stuff about flushing toilets and Nick Sirianni wears a fucking a cool t-shirt. All of a sudden we're Super Bowl bound. Like,
I
come
will
on.
I will say one thing, man. Some of the rah-rah stuff, Nick, I would like you to calm down a bit. I think it's cool with the shirts that support the team and all that. That's fine. Beat Dallas, that didn't really bother me. What did though, this whole making a big thing about informing people, the players of the rivalry of Eagles Cowboys, that felt very college-like to me, and I just don't feel like that's needed. I understand if we would have won the game, it probably would have been celebrated. I didn't like it either way. I just don't think that the players needed to be educated on Eagles Cowboys. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I get it. I mean, even the great Bill Belichick sat there and discussed the parade route down Broad Street that we had posted in '04.
yeah, yeah, not during film study. That was he took an extra 10 minutes before practice to do that. He
No,
didn't
it
take
was
time
just
out of film study to do that.
it was in a team meeting,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's where Sirianni did it. He did it in a team meeting.
My understanding was he did it during film study. So
The
maybe
team doesn't do a film study together. The film study is done in everybody in the position groups. The team was together. It wasn't during film study. Whoever said that is an idiot. They even do it at the high school age. They do it in groups.
If you got a bunch
Whoever
of
said
players,
that, they're dumb.
if you got a bunch of players that need motivation to be educated on the Cowboys on week 3, then you need to do more purging than I believe. I just thought it was unnecessary. It's right before Super Bowl. That's one thing. Week 3, it's Monday night in Dallas. Like it's Monday night football. Period.
You have a young team who just came off a disappointing loss, who are doubting themselves.
Okay.
And you're going up against a division rival.
I didn't look at it like that. Okay. I stand corrected. I'm thinking of this. I forget how young the Eagles are. I'm thinking you got a bunch of men between 27 to 33 that are playing.
The ones that are 27, 33 are injured.
Right. I forget, the average age of just about everybody is, one of the oldest players on the team is the kicker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I forget that stuff. I'm sorry. You are correct. I'm saying that this is very college-like. 10 of the 11 starters were playing in college 3 years ago or less. So you are correct. Yeah. Let me just move on.
Yeah.
5-pack of questions, man, because
all right.
I'm starting to get a little down on us. I don't want to do that. So I know we spent a lot of time about, kind of being calm and watching stuff build. F that. It's 3 weeks in the season. Who's in the Super Bowl?
I don't even have.
Who's in the Super Bowl? And you are your Super Bowl picks 3 weeks in. Way too early. I'm calling it Carolina and Denver.
It's good. You're calling it who?
Carolina, Denver. It's going to be a rematch. Cam Newton's going to do the coin toss.
Oh, fuck. That's fucked up.
With Von Miller.
Fuck. Way too early.
Yes.
If somebody had a gun to my head right now, I would say the Rams and Buffalo.
Rams and Buffalo, I think, would be fun. And those are 2 really, really good picks. I would hate it just because of what they represent.
Don't you
But
dare say it.
no. I'm not going where you think I'm going. Um,
Okay.
no. Dallas. I don't think Dallas makes the Super Bowl. Dallas on the back end. Dallas needs to. They're that golfer that does great on the front nine. I need to see what they do on the back nine. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a possibility it's an all LA Super Bowl, and you see the Rams and the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I think that there's always one team from one conference that seems to come out of nowhere. Last year, even though they had Brady, it was Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay. No, you weren't expecting Tampa Bay to go.
Especially the way they were like mid-season. They were like around 500. They didn't look that great, and then they went on that run at the end.
I will tell you, I would love to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I'm not a big fan of John Gruden, but to see the Raiders there would be kind of cool. Cleveland. Would love to see Cleveland in the Super Bowl.
I would love to see Cleveland in the Super Bowl.
What I will say is I don't think you're going to see – I never count out Andy in Kansas City. I don't think you're going to see Kansas City. I almost would bet my mortgage you're not going to see New England or Pittsburgh. Like, you're seeing a decent change in the guard of the Blue Bloods as far as with that. And the same thing in the NFC. I don't think – I mean, Tampa Bay still has a great shot. But, you know, I think you're starting to see a couple teams that are starting to creep up, and that gap is a lot closer. You know, maybe this is where Green Bay finally makes it. But if I had to put any money, someone out of the NFC West.
If I had to put money, it's just the Rams. Right now, the Rams. Right now. Listen, NFL is a week-to-week league, and anything can happen 2-3 weeks from now. We could be talking about Seattle is the cream of the crop. Like, you know,
here's the thing: Stafford needs to make it through the whole season, and that's my concern. I don't know how many seasons he has, you know, so that's the big thing there.
But listen, you asked as of right now after week 3, that's who I'm going with is Buffalo and LA.
Everybody, so I'm starting to see more and more as movie theaters are starting to be a little bit more comfortable to go into, and more movies are starting to come out, both streaming and on TV and on in the movies and stuff like that. And it got me thinking. We always, you know, I hear people, about how great movies in the 80s were, and then you kind of talking about, you know, how great movies have been recently with Marvel and stuff like that. Don't really talk about 90s movies too much. What was your favorite 90s movie?
Ooh, man. And I went to a lot of movies in the 90s because that was my high school thing. You went to the mall and you went to the movies, right? Oh, man. My favorite 90s movies.
And you can obviously, because there's different genres, you can name a couple, you know.
I'll tell you one that I really liked, and it's a classic because you can watch it even now and enjoy it. Was the first Bad Boys with Mark Lawrence and Will Smith. I saw that actually twice in the movies.
I will tell you one that I feel is not respected as much as it should be. 28 years ago this week, Bronx Tale came out.
Bronx Tale's my shit.
Yeah, but I feel like the younger generation, or even like my generation, like weren't really told, yo, you got to see that.
Well, I mean, you had like the Bronx Tale, another movie with that dude in it. You had
which dude? Robert De Niro or Chaz Palminteri?
No, the kid that played Colangelo.
Okay.
In, Bronx Tale, Renaissance Man. I like the Renaissance Man because even they changed the name of it. But where they did the filming of that movie was where I did basic training, is in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and it has the highest rappel wall in the nation. So, trust me, I had to do it. It sucked. So that movie always held like kind of, because like when they shoot certain things in that movie, I was like, oh, I remember we had to run up that hill or.
I mean, well, it's interesting because I think bookend wise, because I mean, there's actually a ton of really good 90s movies.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's some I haven't watched in a while, so I don't know how well it hangs up. But bookending it, Terminator 2, early 90s. What? Are you serious? That's one
I
of my
like that.
favorites, man.
Is it?
Are you
It's all
serious?
right. It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, come on, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
Jeez. This comes from a guy that loves Rocky 4.
I
And
do love Rocky 4. I do love Rocky 4.
I believe the original Matrix was 99. And I really like the first Matrix.
The first Mexico was dope.
Yeah. Two and three,
Um,
not so much.
but it's not. A class. Like you go back. I don't know. I tried to watch The Matrix not that long ago, and I was like, ew.
Really, see, I don't mind it. Like, it's not Friday. Friday, I can still watch the original
Right.
Friday.
Friday was a number '90s movie.
Yeah.
American Pie.
American Pie is still funny, although
unrated. You gotta watch it unrated.
Then you have some others. Was American Pie in the 90s or was that 2000? I feel like that was early 2000.
First American Pie was 98.
Really? Wow.
98, 99. Yeah.
I still laugh at all the Adam Sandler movies, The Water Boy and all those, like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, I just thought
no South Park movie. The South Park movie. The South Park movie.
South Park movie. South Park movie might make the top 100 90s movies, but it's in that 90 to 100 range. I still
blame Canada.
Yeah. I mean,
that movie will never fly today, bro.
Listen, that's not even one. The fact that I think they won the Oscar for a song that literally was titled "Shut Your Fucking Face, Uncle Fucker." And literally, there's a lyric in the song that's like, "You fuck your uncle every day." Well, you fucked your uncle yesterday, and they won the Oscar for it. So go figure. Yeah. So, and that's the generation that's super sensitive.
Right.
Winter sports are starting up. Training camp happening for basketball. You're starting to see some preseason for hockey. Anything that you're looking forward to in the winter sports doesn't have to be Philly, just in general.
Just Ben Simmons get the fuck out of town.
Right. Listen, and he's making it harder and harder. So I don't think he honestly wants to leave. I just think that he's just a crying brat. You really want a team to build an offense around you? You have no offense. What are you talking about? What do you mean? That's like Drew Bledsoe saying, I want to run sprint right, sprint left. What the fuck are you talking about?
Drew Bledsoe says, I want to run an RPO.
Right. That's just a PO. That's all it is. It's a pass option. It's a sack pass option. That's what.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's crazy to me. You know what, man? It's weird. I'm excited for the basketball season, but not excited for the Sixers, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of want to see what some of these other teams do. I'm very fearful that what's going to end up happening is we're going to see LA and Brooklyn in the finals because they just keep on pushing that. Like, there's a media thing behind it, and they're putting pieces.
Well, that's because you got the fucking you got the 2010 All-Stars in LA and the 2015 All-Stars in Brooklyn.
Right. But I'll be honest, the big thing for me though, I actually like hockey, and the Flyers made a lot of moves that said we want to win now, but they're also, these people won't be around for a few years. They found a captain from another team. They got rid of some guy. Like, they did very unflyer-like stuff that we're all really happy to see. So I'm curious to see how that team develops, how the kid Carter Hart, speaking of a kid, much like Jalen Hurts, who just had a bad year last year.
He had no defense though, man.
Right.
So
I'm curious to see. And his goal against average for his career is still like 2.7. Like, that's
right.
But speaking of that, another thing comes up this winter: the Winter Olympics. What's your favorite Winter Olympic sport? It's okay to say curling, man.
That was in my head to be a smartass to say that too. Outside of Olympic hockey, because Olympic hockey is kind of fun to watch.
It was fun to watch when they let the pros do it. Now that they don't let the pros do it, I don't know. They might do it again this year. It was fun
Oh,
watching the Bulls play.
yeah. But this weird one, it is kind of almost, this is so mean. It's kind of almost the same reason why I would kind of watch a NASCAR crash or
Are you
NASCAR
going to
race
say
if
speed
it's a
skating?
crash. Not the speed skating, the drawing when they come down,
Oh,
and
the
they jump and they're
skiing.
like,
Yeah. You would
and they're
see
like, boom, that joint, and the other skiing where they're like, shoot, 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 and they're hitting the flags, and it's a lot of times them motherfuckers be like, brrr. It's kind
you
of
know.
funny.
So you want to see the bloopers from the Wide World of Sports and the agony of defeat.
Yes, yes, that should be funny. They be like, and then they land, they be like, and go into that orange netting.
Do you remember in the early 90s when computers were like just happening? There used to be like a game that came on every computer. It was like the little skiing game that you could play.
Yeah.
Where if you played long enough, a bear would come out and eat you. I feel like you would enjoy seeing a bear come out and attack.
No, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. That's a little
Not
too
that the skier got hurt too bad, but just a bear just to run out and skier, you know.
much. I don't want to tell my age on this. A lot of times when I be seeing that shit, I always think as a person's rolling into that net, I always think about the ball from the old man, the farmer from First Back to the Future. You just killed a pie.
God.
You just killed it. I'll yell it. I'll just yell it, and my wife be like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
So, and the final thing, it's actually going to be in the same month as the Winter Olympics, is the Super Bowl, excluding the Super Bowl 52. What was your favorite Super Bowl?
Ooh, man, there were some good ones, man.
There's been a lot of really good ones. We've been blessed to have a lot of really good Super Bowls. I think the favorite to me still, just because I watched it with my pop, and it was one of the few things me and my dad actually did together sports-wise, was Tennessee, St. Louis Rams.
That was a good one. I'm probably just gonna ramble off a couple real quick. San Fran versus Cincinnati. I remember watching that with Grandma. That was a fun one.
Which one?
The second one, the one in, what was that, 88, 89?
Yeah.
The one where they had 91 yards to drive, and then as he got to the huddle, all of a sudden, and fucking Joe Montana goes, "Look, hey, look, guys, look, it's John Candy," and they all just kind of settled down.
The Boomer Esiason Bengals, not the Ken Anderson Bengals.
Yes. That one, Buffalo versus Giants. That was a good old school smash mouth joint. That was, and then probably I'm gonna say, if I had to break one down completely, like you said, outside of the Eagles one, is probably Pittsburgh, Arizona.
Funny story about that one. I didn't see the Pittsburgh, Arizona Super Bowl until 2 years after it happened. I was so upset at the Eagles losing to the Cardinals that I literally watched. There used to be a show called House. It was a medical show. I watched a marathon of that during the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And then I heard about how great it was, and I was just so upset. And I watched it 2 years.
I'm surprised that you were upset because that 08 team wasn't expected to go.
They should have won that game, man. And
they should have, but I wasn't. Listen, man, we were 6 seed. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Once again, we should have won that game, and I was mad at the moment. But I wasn't, like, 2 days later, I was cool.
I believe if they win that game, they win that Super Bowl, man. Like, I believe they beat Pittsburgh. Just like if they would have beat Tampa Bay, I believe they would have beat the Raiders. But yeah. But yeah, those were good. So no Atlanta, New England overtime.
No, because that really wasn't. That was, oh shit. That was Matt. When Matt Ryan, I'm gonna use another movie reference. They had the lead. They were in New England territory about the 45 or whatever, 40, 45. And Matt Ryan fumbled. And all I could think, looking at the TV, was like, no, you don't fucked up right. You know you
You know
fucked
what's
up.
funny?
You know you fucked up.
Someone had said something else. They said it was like when he fumbled, and it's like when in the movies, you know, like in the horror movies, someone goes, "Hey, everything will be fine." You hear,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just Tom Brady with the Jason mask just coming.
Right. Or you hear it for Freddy Krueger stretching. Yeah. He was, yeah. When he fumbled that ball, it was like, so that was more or less like, y'all had an opportunity because Atlanta was busting that ass the whole game, and it was just more kind of, and then they came roaring back, and you were just like,
So that's the 5-pack. We'll probably talk about Super Bowl stuff, you know, throughout the year. It's just, you know, it's the biggest game of the year. There's a lot of stuff. One more quick note: Patriots Seahawks, where they should have given it to Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, didn't know what happened until Tuesday. I watched the game. I was just little. I had some really good company and some really good drinks, and so I just assumed that Seattle was going to win.
Right.
It wasn't until Tuesday. I was like, "Whoa, wait, what?" Actually,
I did. In a side note, I did. Even though it wasn't a close Super Bowl, it really wasn't a good Super Bowl. But I don't. I remember who won, but I don't remember who won until like the next day. It may have been 2 days later as well. Was the Tampa Raiders, because I went to a Super Bowl party. I was still depressed from that, and I literally was chugging Pure Green.
That was
I angry drank then. Like I was chugging Pure Green. I was watching that shit.
Speaking of angry, let's go to the NFL picks.
All right, I didn't write shit down this week. Okay,
that's okay. So last week I went 11-5. You went 9-7. You can see on the screen, you know, the overall stuff. I'm not going to do the math off the top of my head. Just know, I think I got a like an 8-game lead on you right now early in the season, but there's so much more to go. So a fan base that, like Philly in 2017, I mean, they thought they had the Patriots and they thought they were going to the Super Bowl and don't have hardly any of that team left. The Jacksonville Jaguars go into Cincinnati Thursday night. How do you see that going?
I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase finally found something. They looked good the other week, so I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm gonna say 24-13. I think Cincinnati gonna pour it on them.
I have Cincinnati 28-17. Jacksonville doesn't have an identity yet. Their defense is starting to come together, but offensively they don't have an identity. Tennessee at the Jets.
Tennessee. 27-17.
And I have Tennessee 31-14. And Carolina at Dallas.
I'm gonna say Carolina's gonna take their first L. Especially without no McCaffrey. So I'm gonna go Dallas 28-24.
All right, the Giants at New Orleans. I have Dallas
17.
Oh,
okay, sorry.
So,
okay. I said, whoa.
Giants at New Orleans.
I'm gonna go Nola. 24-20.
I pick the Giants every week. They have lost every week. So I gotta pick the New York Giants, man. You know? I think they're gonna start building that offense and letting Danny Dimes do a little bit more rushing stuff. And I think you know, this is gonna be one of those fluke games, and I think the Giants win 24-21.
Okay.
I don't think the Giants are going to win 24-21. I just want to see them lose again. I'm not going to mess with them. Not Juju Smith-Schuster, just Juju.
Yeah, Juju.
Cleveland at Minnesota pulled out a surprise win. Minnesota did against Seattle.
I'm gonna go Cleveland, but a tight one. I think like 30-27.
I have Minnesota winning this one, 31-28. I think Cleveland's just starting to miss too many pieces, man. I think that there's going to be at least one game that's going to screw them up not having Jarvis Landry. I think this is the one. Interesting game, I think, not for the right reasons. Detroit at Chicago. We don't know. Chicago said Justin Fields might start, or Andy Dalton might start, or Nick Foles might start. He doesn't know. So Jim McMahon might start. Jay Cutler might start. It's bananas.
Doug Flutie might start.
Doug Flutie might start. Eric Kramer might start.
Miller might can't
Jim
remember.
Miller might start.
Jim Miller.
Jim Drunken Miller might start.
Yeah.
Did Jim Drunken Miller ever play for them? I know he played for
I
nine.
don't know. I know McCown played for him.
Yeah. Josh McCown might start.
Yeah.
Cade McNabb might start. I'm out of Bears quarterbacks. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah. I can't even really think one off the top of my brain right now. Cordell Stewart might start.
Oh, nice.
Who the fuck are the Bears playing again?
Detroit.
I'm gonna go with Detroit. I want to get Detroit on we'll go with Detroit. If they played like they did a full game like they did against Baltimore, if they play inspired football like they did against Baltimore against Chicago, they should be able to beat Chicago. Division game. Excuse me. I want to say Detroit 24-21.
I have Detroit 28-20, regardless of who starts. All I got to say is if Nick Foles starts and wins that game for you, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. Just put it back on the bench. You did this last year. Put it back on the bench, man.
Oh, God. If he goes out there and wins and he looks good, oh, my God. Could you imagine? Need to trade for Nick Foles. Bring him back.
Houston at Buffalo. I think the question is how many points is Buffalo going to beat Houston
by? Buffalo, I'm going to say 34-10.
Buffalo put up over 40 points against Washington. What are they going to do against Houston? 41-13. Indy at Miami, which I'll tell you, Jacoby Brissett actually looked better than Tua in that offense for the Dolphins.
Yeah. Is Wentz playing?
He probably is. Wentz is a bottom 5 quarterback as far as stats, by the way.
He's not. He's looking like he did last year. Which is surprising. I thought he would look better under Frank Reich. He's only averaging like 17 points a game too.
And their defense is not looking good either. That's the most surprising thing. By the way, I have Miami 28-20, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami 24-17.
All right. And then, as my phone shuts down, where are we at? Washington at Atlanta. A lot of 1 o'clock games this year today. Washington at Atlanta.
I'm going to go Washington 23-17.
I have Washington 21-17 in this one. Seattle at San Fran to kick off the 4:05.
That's going to be a fun game. I'm going to go. I'm going to go San Fran 28-27.
I have San Fran 27-24. Arizona at the Rams.
Another fun one. I'm just going to go with the Rams. They're just playing too good right now. Rams. 31-28.
I have the Rams in a barn burner, or 34-31. Pittsburgh at Green Bay.
Green Bay. Um, Green Bay 27-20.
All right, and I have Green Bay 31-20. Baltimore. The Ravens go into the friendly confines of Denver.
This is a tough one. Because Denver's been playing good. I mean, they're undefeated. I mean, they ain't played nobody, but still, sometimes you get on a run and you get a little, confidence. Oh, but Baltimore's getting some key defensive players back. I'm gonna go Baltimore. A low scoring 21-17. Low scoring game.
Yeah, I hate to say Denver's winning this. Denver's going 4-0.
Yeah.
And
It wouldn't surprise me. That's why it was so tough for me to.
It's all right. Baltimore's going to make the playoffs. Baltimore might win the division. They're just really struggling right now. I don't see them going on a run because of that kick, much like how Jake Elliott made that kick against the Giants, like some people have been trying to compare it to. I don't see it.
But it all depends on which Baltimore team you get. Are you going to get the Baltimore team that played the Chiefs, or are you going to get the Baltimore team that played the Lions?
I think it's more so you're just struggling with. I think they're banged up, man. And I just think that you're going to see a hell of a Baltimore team in the second half. First half is going to be a struggle.
Right, and that's why that's the only reason I picked them, because they're getting a handful of defensive starters back. So
Sunday night, Tom Brady goes back to the Patriots. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he gonna smoke that ass. He's gonna look at Belichick and be like, "This is still my house." And in the words of Jalen Hurts, rent is due. I will say Tampa Bay 31-17.
I have Tampa Bay 34-17. What's your thoughts of Bill Belichick saying that we wanted him back, but Tom Brady said this team's not good enough? And if that happened, in my personal opinion, he was 100% correct. But
Yeah, I feel that Tom Brady may have said that, and I agree with you. It's 100% correct. And he's probably pissed off because he's like, how many times do I got to renegotiate my contract for you guys to keep talent around me?
right. Monday night, fun Monday night game. The Las Vegas Raiders go into a place that they used to play in LA to play the Los Angeles Chargers.
It's going to be a fun game. You're right. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers 31-30.
I have the Chargers 31-28. Question for you. Would you trade Jalen Hurts in the third for Derek Carr?
No.
No, not a thought. Would you want Derek Carr on this team?
If he was like an only option, we didn't have Jalen Hurts, yeah.
But you would take Jalen Hurts over Derek Carr?
As of right now, yeah.
Okay, just curious. I think about it of people that might be available as an option. He would probably be that's the kind of caliber, your best possible thing that you could probably trade for. So that's just my thoughts. And then 1:00 at the link, the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs, who also have a bottom 5 defense, against the Philadelphia Eagles, who I don't even want to look at their defensive ranks right now.
Yeah, you have a pissed off Kansas City team.
Might not have Andy on the sidelines.
I mean, yeah. I mean, He'll probably be there. It was dehydration, so and came home yesterday or so he came home Tuesday. More, he'll be there. So the Walrus will be there. It's not gonna be good. You got it. Like I said, you got a pissed off Kansas City team that feels they should be 3-0, and they should be 3-0. Coming into a place where a coach is struggling with his offensive play calling, a quarterback is struggling with his fundamentals, and a banged up offensive line, and a defense that just can't get right. Yeah. I'm going Kansas City 34-17.
I think this is going to be an encouraging loss. I think that you're going to see the Eagles start to get some stuff together. I see us losing 31-24, but it's not going to be that close. I see us getting a touchdown towards the end. But I don't think it's going to be an embarrassment, man. I don't see this team having back-to-back embarrassments. I didn't look at San Fran as an embarrassment. I just looked at it as there were some questionable calls by the coaching staff. Kansas City's a way better team. I just feel that you're going to see some fight out of the birds.
I feel that Dallas, to me, Dallas wasn't an embarrassing loss. To me, once again, Dallas is a team that is making a push, not just to make the playoffs, they're making a push to try to get to the Super Bowl. That's where they're at. We're nowhere near that. And
Right.
that's what it showed on Monday night.
I think it's national TV, it's Monday night, and just to have it.
If it was anybody else outside the division, it wouldn't be as bad. But the
Correct.
fact that it was to the Cowboys, that's what made it so bad.
Right, and it was Monday Night Football.
Right.
It's not.
Wait till Thursday night.
What's that?
Wait till that Thursday night against Tampa Bay.
But it's look, man, you're not expected to be as good as the teams that were in the Super Bowl. You weren't expected to be as good as Dallas either. I think it's one thing to say how big of the gap is between you and a team that's supposed to be competing to be in the Super Bowl, and to actually have it smacked in the face. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Ugh. Listen, y'all, that's our show. Don't forget, like and subscribe, man. We're going to have some more content. We're going to work on some few other things, too, that won't be so time sensitive. Check out the Facebook page, too, Two Brothers, Same Mother. Beyond that, have a good night. Have a good week. Enjoy the games, and peace.
Peace.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.